Hi everybody, it's Sandy here with the New Moon Rose reading. Well, it's for the reading for the period between the New Moon, which was last night here in the UK, so about 9 p.m. last evening, through to the period to the 9th of February. So we're in a window now from this new moon to this full moon, and there's a real sense that having come through the end of 2019 and into the energies of 2020, the eclipses, the Saturn-Pluto conjunction, and the whole of the Capricorn party that was going on, there's been such a lot of shifting that's being going on within us, and that is really creating a pathway forward for us to start to move into a new frequency of being. This movement into fully into Aquarius is what's taking us on this what is described in the Sabian symbols, and it's not Sabian symbols are not something that I've actually been drawn to before, but something called me to look and see what the Sabian symbol was for this full moon on the 9th of February. And it says, people on a vast staircase graduating upwards. And that really speaks to what I'm experiencing and what I'm sensing of this time that we're in. That we've been through a period of intensity as we came to the end of 2019. A sense of unknowingness of what we were entering into as we went into January. It was a very big astrology piece to this in January with the eclipses and the Saturn-Pluto conjunction. And it's like, well, where now? What is this? What's this calling us to now? So this Sabian symbol really speaks to me of what we're moving through. And all of us are finding places now where we're needing to clear the energies, we're needing to, well, the words that I got when I was driving off to an event in Bournemouth a couple of weeks ago was refine and align. And I think that is really what's calling us on lots of levels. What are we being drawn to? Who is it that's in our circle, in our friendship circles, in our work circles? Who are we drawn to? What are we drawn to? What is the voice that is calling us forward? So I think the question is, who or what aspect of you is calling you now? What are the visions? What are you being drawn to? One of the things yesterday, I was planning to do this reading yesterday, but I'd had a night with only 2 hours sleep, but also I felt really drawn to clear and align the space here in preparation for this next period of time. And it was such, it was so obvious, and it was such a powerful experience that, the clearing that we're being asked to do now is to hold a new template. It's to hold a new energy of what we want to take forward in the world. So let's see what the roses have got to offer us as wisdom in this upcoming period. And as I say, I'm really being drawn to look at this 2-week period now as we move from the new moon into the full moon. What is asking to be looked at? What is asking to be activated from the place of these new beginnings? What was being called for in the imprint of this new moon at 4 degrees of Aquarius? the sun will be moving through to 11 degrees 45 of Aquarius. And with it, it's taking us ever more into the energy that will give us a sort of flavour of what we will expect as the planets that have been in the Capricorn party just now move into the Aquarian energy. And we know that 2020 is the period which many of these planets, particularly the slower moving ones, will be moving into Aquarius. December the 21st, 2020 is going to be really significant for us in feeling the flavour of what the age of Aquarius as it really births for each and every one of us. And of course that really depends on where Aquarius sits in your astrology chart. What is the energy of focus that is being brought forward as these planets all start to move into Aquarius? Now for me personally, I'm an Aquarian sun. My birthday is not very far away in February, and there is a feeling for me of this being a time of preparation for actually what I came here in this lifetime to bring. And those that know a little bit of my journey know that it's not necessarily been an easy journey to actually get to this point. So it's really fascinating in getting a flavour of what the focus is for now. And I think this is the same for all of us. What is it that we are being called to refine and align to? So let's see what the roses might offer us as wisdom on the pathway. So we have Rose Ma 3 as our first rose, and Rose Ma 3 says, I am inner strength. So this rose was one of the roses that came forward from the Alhambra in Granada when I first connected with the voice of the roses in this way. So she sat in a flower bed as I came out of the Nasrid Palace. And you can see this rose is sitting in the shadows, if you like. All of the light is around her. And she says, I sit in the shadows, but still I am beautiful. And I wait until it's my time to shine. Now, it's really fascinating that that's come in on the back of what I was just speaking of, because for each and every one of us, there is a time of preparation. And the words that have just come in are this of taking care not to share ahead of time. That sometimes the process within us is to hold a vision and incubate that vision, be fully present with it, look at it from all facets, allow it to expand in our own internal landscape before it is shared outside. Sometimes when we share ahead of time, the energy on something is dissipated and it's not given time to incubate. So there's something here around holding this energy and being able to breathe into it and feel it and be really fully present to it. And then when the time is right, the light comes forward to illuminate the pathway forward and illuminate the sharing. So this feels to be quite potent for this time. Is there something that you're working on? Is there something that you're developing? Is there an idea in incubation here that needs your attention? And it doesn't need to be brought out into the light of sharing yet. It's like a seed that's been planted. Interesting, isn't it, that the gardening year, certainly here in the Northern Hemisphere, is beginning to start again. There is the time for planting seeds in preparation for what may grow and be birthed. So this rose, as I say, she's Rose Ma 3. I am inner strength. And there is just this resource inside that holds the template for the seeding, for the visioning, and the development of that in readiness for your time to shine. Let's see what else might come forward for us as guidance from the roses. Rose Bagua 5. Rose Bagua 5. This rose is about coming back into center. She sits in the Rose Bagua, in the center of the Bagua. Now the Bagua is a feng shui term. It's a box of 9 squares. It's 9 aspects of your life. The center of which, Rose Bagua 5, is about the health, the Tai Chi, the center of the energy signature. And when I'm working with the Bagua, with the roses, it's always what is your heartfelt expression in these different aspects of your life out in the world. So Rose Bagua 5 reminds us to come back to center, to keep coming back to center, not to be pulled off to the shininess that is outside on the rim of the wheel. Keep coming back to the hub of the wheel. The center of the wheel holds the seed point. Whether you're talking about the development of a project, a vision that you've been given to hold, she holds the original coding. It's like the spotar, the seed point, right at the middle of the dandelion clock. It is in the center where the seeding is known, the vision is known, the outer expression is the explosion into life, if you like. This rose is calling us back into the golden center at the heart of the rose. This is the Rosa Mystica. This is the center where all is known. So when you come back into center, as you do this journey through your day, through your life, coming back into center and taking a few nice easy breaths to come back into the core of you, then all action comes from that still point inside. There's no movement at the center. The center allows us to come back and rest and reflect on the action or what is going to be said. So a beautiful reminder of coming back into center, and that is where the core of our very being, our very presence is felt. So let's see what the third rose is that wants to come forward at this particular time. So, and this is Rose Bagua 6. And as I say, the Bagua is a box of 9 squares, each representing an aspect of your life. So this rose sits in the bottom right-hand corner of the Bagua, and she is all about the helpful friends, those that come forward in our lives to co-create, those that come forward with us to hold the vision or that are supporting the vision. It is like tribe. It is like knowing who totally gets you, knowing who is aligned to your vision, who is on the same page, who is part of your tribe. Now, sometimes that tribe is your birth family. More often than not, it is those that you come forward to from that birth family to activate and align yourself into the truth of who you are. It's what Jung would call the individuation. Who am I inside the tribe? So I come from this root of my birth imprint, my birth family, but who am I called to be beyond that? You know, you often find that, I mean, for me, for instance, my grandmother was a wonderful craftsperson. She sewed, she did a lot of handicrafts, and my mother was a seamstress. So she had the talent of making clothes, and she worked for various different companies, but she was a seamstress. And so for me, I took this next step on so that I became a dress designer. So we take down through the line some of the coding that's brought, and then we nurture and nourish it with our very being. So this rose says, who am I inside the tribe? But also, you know, who do I co-create with? If we are looking at this shifting template that is taking us out of the solo journey. So the age of Pisces, which is what we are coming to the close of, was very much a solo journey. The age of Aquarius says, who do I align with? Who are my tribe? Where's the group where I am at home with, my soul recognizes? And this is the rose that gives us this as part of the coding for this time. So in looking at this reading, and as I say, I've been called to do this post the actual new moon at 4 degrees of Aquarius, which was last evening here, and to look at this as a visionary period between now and the full moon on the 9th of February. And we're moving from 4 degrees of Aquarius, which is where the sun and the moon were for the new moon, to 11:45, which is where the sun will be, and obviously the moon will be in Leo for the 9th of February. So what is the wisdom, what is the focus that the roses are inviting us to in this period of time? And these are the 3 roses then that have come forward for us. Rose Ma 3, I am inner strength. And what flavour this felt to have was the recognition that sometimes there is an incubation period. There is sometimes a place where we have been gifted a vision, and it is essential that we hold that vision and we incubate it, we fertilize it. It's like planting a seed. We have to tenderly care for that seed to allow it to germinate. And this feeling that sometimes it is really important that we don't share ahead of time, that we don't lose the juice of the vision that we've been given, because it's so easy to get excited and share things and share them ahead of time, and the energy is dissipated. So if during January you've been gifted with a vision of your future going forward, she may be calling you to take time to incubate that vision before sharing it too widely. This rose, as I explained, was from the Alhambra, and she was sitting in a bed that wasn't yet illuminated by the sun. And she said, although I sit in the shadows, still I am beautiful. And I sit and I wait until it's my time to shine. So, yeah, as I say, that feels to be her message in there. This rose, Rose Bagua 5, the absolute centre of the Bagua. And I think there's another piece to this whereby we are being called to put ourselves at the centre of what is unfolding. We could also look at this as saying, I need to make sure that my cup is filled first before I start to nurture and nourish others, or that I make sure that as I give, so I open to receive. This place of coming back into centre, coming back into the hub of our lives, allows us to not get caught into the glamours of what is out on the rim, but keep coming back to the essence, the very core of what you are being called to and called to hold. So in fact, these two energies sort of almost back one another up. There is a place in which these first 3 months of the year are very much incubating. You know, there is a time that there is a readiness to share, and being aware of when that is. So not being caught in distraction, coming back into centre. Now you can use various tools to come back into centre. Just the breath is enough to bring us mindful of the body. Bringing our attention just for a few minutes onto the connection between our bodies and the chair that we're sitting on, our feet on the floor, connecting through the soles of our feet into the earth, taking yourself out and standing on the grass, reminding ourselves to come back into the hub. This also could be a message to keep it simple, to simplify. And that's certainly what, you know, as I said, I was planning to do this reading yesterday, but actually the energy wasn't aligned for me to do that because I was in a massive clearing process here. There was a real calling to use what energy I had after not a lot of sleep the night before in actually refining and aligning one of the spaces here in the Rosy Temple to hold a higher key and code of light. You know, when we refine and align, whether that's in our food, whether that's in our thinking, whether that's in our physical space, there is the potential for an activation to align with the higher keys and codes of light, which are coming in rapidly now as we start to move into these 2020 energies. Just as an aside to that, while I was doing the clearing here in the Rosy Temple space, I've been sort of mourning the loss of a book that I had treasured since I was 7 years old. And I was sure I'd been through boxes and boxes of books, and especially before I'd taken them out to the charity shops. I've had some big clearings here of my book stash, and I thought perhaps this book had inadvertently got into one of the boxes. I have kept this book with me since I was 7 years old. In the clearing yesterday of my space at the other end of the Rosy Temple, which has been used actually as a packing space for the Rose Oracle when it arrived, and we had this packing fest over Christmas. So it was clearing away the debris of that. And here is the book. Some of you will remember these original Ladybird books, but I've had this with me a long time, and it's coming up to my birthday been, a couple of weeks. And this was gifted to me on my 7th birthday. So it just goes to show you that actually when you take time, and there was a real pull yesterday to clear the space. And this is what was revealed, that in fact I had kept my treasure. It's just that when I moved in here, it got put into the bookcase and I didn't see it. Anyway, this is the 3rd rose in our 3-card reading. And this is the rose of Rose Bagua 6. And she sits in the area of helpful friends. So this is really about knowing those that really truly align with your vision now. Who do you feel most comfortable with? Who are you drawn to? And perhaps letting go of those that actually don't resonate anymore. Letting go of the connection, letting go of the need to connect, or recognizing what the thread is with you and the other now. What there is that is perhaps needing to complete or needing to activate to a new level. This is also the rose that says to us, we are leaving this path of aloneness. We are leaving the age of Pisces and moving into the age of Aquarius, which is much more humanitarian in its coding, and it calls us to co-create. It calls us to. It's not the time of journeying alone. This is about journeying with those that resonate. And actually, in the Bagua, through the heart, which is Rose Bagua 5, is the area of wealth and blessings. So for me, this is the root. This is the whole place. When we co-create, when we come together with like-minded people, when we co-create with our tribe, the wealth and blessings, the sense of abundance in our lives exponentially increases. So this is the fertile ground for this. 3 cards of gorgeousness. I hope that they will resonate for you as you go through this next 2-week period to the 9th of February. And as I said earlier on, I looked at the Sabian symbol for this particular degree for the 9th of February. And it says people on a vast staircase graduating upwards. And it does feel like we are on an elevator ride, that we are being gradually uplifted into holding a new refinement of our frequency fields. That, of course, attracts people and experiences and opportunities to us that are aligned to that frequency. The work is an inside job. What we can do to polish the diamond of this heart and be in truth to our own alignment is what is going to bring us the co-creative opportunities going forward, and that sense of also being on purpose, that we are co-creating on this elevator ride. So what else do I have to share? The new in-person and online Rose classes, the Rose 1 class is now up on my website. And, the Rose classes are practical tools for ascension. They are amazing tools and light codes that help us keep this vertical alignment and optimize our energy forward. They are practical tools. So there are all sorts of grids and ways of working with the roses, aligning them with other energy healing modalities. So that's really exciting. And, I'm fascinated by the fact that actually from the Magdalene energy and understanding that the roses hold. You know, they were guided into being by Lady Nada and the Sisterhood of the Rose. And for me, Lady Nada is the overlighting soul of Mary Magdalene. In these current times, I am finding much more of connection with the energy of Lady Mary or Mother Mary. There is another energy that's coming in with this second edition Oracle, giving us a very slightly different flavour. But the Magdalene gives us this insight in the fact that ascension in this time is not an upward movement. It is a descension movement into the body so that we can fully embody this path of light. We become love in action. And so the roses give us tools on a daily basis to activate and align within. I've got some other neat classes that are already up on the website. There's one that is Meeting the Beloved Within. That's ideally for people that have done some of the rose work with me. And I'm shortly going to be putting another one up that is connected with the two Marys, the two streams of the sacred feminine within. And there's some really exciting things coming up for the year. So thank you for tuning in. I hope that these 3 codes of light will be an inspiration in this next couple of weeks for you. And thank you so much. With love and rosy blessings. Bye for now. Bye-bye.